Hi, I'm Thad. I'm Alice's grandson. I struggled to think of what to say about her, what story I could tell that would convey who she was and how much she meant to all of us. There are so many memories. Thanksgivings, Christmas Eves, all the time we spent with her and Grandpa when we were kids. All the little things she'd get excited about. Story time at the library, putting her train set together at Christmas. My cousin Ethan reminded me the other day about how excited she'd get about taking us on trolley rides when we were little. 3 generations of us. All of those things tell you a little bit about Alice and who she was and how much we loved her. But in the end, when I found the story I wanted to tell, the story that I think says everything about her, it didn't come from any of the places I expected it to. The night before she died, her phone rang, and I answered it. It was a neighbor of hers, a man named Craig, who I've met a few times. Craig got to know my grandma because he would walk around the neighborhood with his dog Willow around sunset, the same time my dad and grandma would go for their evening walk. Grandma was like that. She'd see somebody and she'd say hello. She'd just walk up to people and introduce herself. She'd hug people in the supermarket. And so she made friends with Craig, like she made friends with everybody. Craig had suffered a recent loss. His best friend had been an elderly man who had passed away suddenly. I think it was a comfort to him to make not just a new friend, but to have another old-timer to talk to. Someone who reminded him of the friend he had lost. Craig called me that night because he'd heard Alice wasn't feeling well. He wanted to check in and talk with her. I had to tell him that her condition had deteriorated quickly, that she was asleep and there was a good chance she wouldn't wake up. Craig was heartbroken, as all of us were. When we got off the phone, he texted me some photos of him and Willow and Grandma and my dad walking around the neighborhood looking at lights this past Christmas. He asked me to show them to Alice if she woke up. Grandma never got to see them, but looking at those pictures the night before she died meant the world to me. I will treasure them for the rest of my life. And whenever I look at them, I'll smile, because they make me think about the kind of person Grandma was and the kind of friendships she forged. I looked at those photos and I cried, and I realized this was the story I wanted to tell. This was the story that said everything about who Alice Boyd was. Grandma loved her family. Of course she did. But I think the most special thing about her is that she loved strangers on the street. She had an easy gift for making friends wherever she went. A few of us inherited that talent. My brother Hannibal did. My cousin April did. Me, I take more after Grandpa. But I think about Grandma, and I think about Craig, and I think about all the other people like Craig in her life, all those easy and effortless friendships she formed everywhere she went. I don't even know my neighbors' names, and I've lived on this block for more than 30 years. We've come together, all of us in spirit, even if not all of us are able to be present in person, to celebrate the life of Alice Luella Jensen Boyd, whoever she was to us, whether she was Mom or Grandma or Gram or just Alice. Grandpa used to call her Al. Some of us are family. Some of us know her from church. Some are neighbors. Each and every one of us will have our own favorite memories. But I think what we all remember is her kindness and her patience and her friendliness. And we can honor her by remembering to be kind, patient, and friendly too.